Okay, so you should go through and choose the best of your two-letter designs. This is the one I'm going to go with. VE didn't come out all that great, but you can see the W. And this could be from any of the previous projects, but it should be on the computer. First thing I need to do is actually select just this. I've got a couple of different ways of doing that. I can use the magic wand, which is W. I'm going to click here. It selects the background, and then I'm going to go to select inverse. And that will select it'll select everything except for the background. And I'm going to hit Control C as in cow so that I can copy it. Say that wasn't an option. I could try to use the Marquee tool, but the elliptical Marquee tool is sort of hard to use. And it's a square right now. Let me get the elliptical. It's sort of hard to use and to get it to match up perfectly. So that's really not an option that I wanted to go with. I could also, of course, if yours is square, go to the rectangular Marquee tool, and getting that around a rectangle should be easy. So once you select it, you're going to hit Control C to copy. Then you need to open up Adobe Illustrator. So Adobe and Illustrator is right here. You should log in the same way as you would to Adobe Photoshop. So assuming that it opens, you're going to want to do File, New. And what we're looking for is 3 by 3 inches. In order to do that, it might be a little problematic, but see me if there's a problem. Anyway, so we create that. I have 3 by 3 inches. Then I'm going to hit Control V, V as in Victor, to bring it in. So notice how this is really pixelated. Right now, it's in pixels, so dots. If I zoom in real close, I get lots of dots. Okay. So this cannot be sized effectively. In order to make this so that it is a vector, a mathematical formula which plots where all of the it's not all the dots because it doesn't do it in dots anymore, but it's a mathematical formula which describes this image. I'm going to go to Windows, and I'm going to go down to Image Trace. When Image Trace pops up, once I grab it again, there we go. Yours probably won't have this bottom. In order to get to the bottom, you're going to hit Advanced. You're going to hit Control A for Select All. If you don't select all, it also will not work. It's going to light up, and then you're going to hit Preview. What this does when it says Trace is it's creating the mathematical formula. Now, notice how this went kind of weird. I'll click off the preview and we'll see what we get here. There we go. So that was the original. We're going to preview it. And I'm going to play with these buttons. So that's my threshold. If you go all the way to the bottom, it's white. All the way to the top, it's black. I'm going to go somewhere in the middle. I want to see what looks good. Notice how this is on black and white mode as well. We can go to color. Paths. Paths are, think of them like, paths or roads. It's the number of lines that this is going to make to describe this image. Notice how it got really weird. I'm going to move it back up because otherwise it's not going to be clean. And you can also notice how it's cleaning the image up. I drop down corners, it's going to get smoother. Noise honestly doesn't make a tremendous amount of difference in most cases. I'm going to drop the noise back down to the bottom because I want these two parts to come in. So now it image traced that. So you want to mess around with it until you get the image trace to look good. You can feel free to play with some of these. They're not going to help you out too much with this particular image. Okay, so now I'm going to hit the X. And now I'm going to hit expand. So right now, if I zoom in, notice how there are no pixels. Nada. I can keep on going forever, and there are not going to be any pixels because it's now a mathematical formula. And I'm going to hit expand. So when I hit expand, you're going to hit Control Y as in yellow. And you're going to notice that it now has an outline of it. Each of these lines is a path. It says path. Okay. And each path has a mathematical formula. This is how it figures how to describe this. So if you remember the X, Y axis where you had to plot a line in math, this is where it comes into use. That's a path, path. Each of them are paths, and right there is an anchor. Okay. The anchor points, well, think of them like anchors. They hold that particular mathematical formula in place. When I hit Control Y again, notice how there's a path up here. I don't want that path. I want that path gone. I'm going to select it, backspace. This is just the corners. And if you see anything along the corners, if you can remove it, great. This does use Control Z, like zip, just like all the other programs to go backwards. But you're going to find that this is much, much easier to have a real problem with this. Okay. So just try to follow those steps. So again, we went Windows, we image traced it, and then we expanded it. Okay. So try to get this, and then just go to File, Save As, and remember to put in the date. I'm going to use 11/15/21, and I'm going to put logo, and then I'm going to put Illustrator.